The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it's Friday.
It's Friday. Hey.
And there was another shooting in the Riv.
Oh, hey. What would the Riv be without another shooting or a knife running through this high school?
Running around this, yeah, exactly.
Well,
remember, everybody come here. It's a garden spot.
That's right. It's a garden spot in Massachusetts. Hey, the lawsuit against Mayor Correa was dismissed on Wednesday. After we had reported on it here. And remember, on Tuesday it was still active. According to the mayor, and I'm going to read his quote here, "It was a fluke thing, and I want to refrain from commenting. There were confidential agreements." He then added that the law firm knew it had no case. They would have lost.
Well, why didn't you go to court and prove your innocence?
Exactly.
Okay? Baloney. You paid them off. Case closed. They dismissed it because they got paid. Okay?
Because a law firm's not going to dismiss a case unless they're getting at least something out of the deal.
Yeah, they made a deal. Let's make a deal. You would have lost because you owed them money. They didn't file a suit. Lawyers don't file suits and pay other lawyers to represent them when they have no basis for a claim.
Exactly.
That's garbage. So
exactly.
Another half-truth. Thank you for another half-truth. If you keep piling half-truths on, we'll get a full truth.
At some point.
That. 2 half-truths equal a full truth.
At some point.
That's right.
Now, I don't know how many people realized it or not, but there was a lockdown at Durfee High School on Wednesday. Yeah. I was on Ellsbury Street when I saw all the police cruisers and everything pulling into the school, and I said, oh, they're in lockdown. And I had contacted one of our other media outlets to let them know, and I was asked, what was your source? I'm standing here watching this.
Well, you're not a credible witness.
I know. But you know what was worse? The fact that the Fall River Public School System did not make an announcement about this until after 5 p.m. They had to bring in the Plymouth County Sheriff's Office, the K-9 unit from the Bristol County Sheriff's Office for backup to find a kid who had a gun. And the school was locked down after a fight because there was a credible statement that there was a weapon, and they did. They found a knife. You know, I have a problem with this. Fall River was given a grant to buy the metal detectors to put in the school. We've only seen them in the school once. And now you have school committee members saying that, oh, well, the metal detectors aren't going to solve the problem. Guess what? The metal detectors will at least stop the weapons from coming through the door.
Well, I mean, even if they figure a way, it's another deterrent. And that's crap. Don't start making excuses because you're not doing everything you can, and that's the problem. We don't do everything we can to protect the citizens and the students in this community. And we're not doing everything we can. We can't have 11 or 12 police officers patrolling the city at night in a city with a crime rate like this. Where the hell are the rest of them? There's 223 police officers. You're going to tell me we're making an adequate attempt to control crime when we've got 11 people on the street?
Yeah, well, I guess so.
In a city of this size? I mean, Somerset's got 6 at night. Come on. We've got less than half of what Somerset has, and Somerset's what, a quarter of our size?
Right. And they don't have and they don't have gun shootings every day.
That's right. It's ridiculous. You know, and it's all you get from politicians, and we'll get to something else that's really going to, really stoke my ire today when we talk about our great legislator in Boston and what the legislator's done again. So, but, I mean, again, you've got a knife, and look, I know it's in this society today, it's virtually impossible to eliminate anything. But you don't ignore the problem and try to make an excuse you don't need it. When they were having, as they called them, the troubles in Ireland with the IRA, the British had half its army committed to Ireland. Why? Did they stop it completely? No. It's impossible when people are committed to do something, a terrorist act or this is a pseudo-terrorist act in a school. You're not going to stop it completely, but you can do everything you can to minimize it, and we're not doing it. And shame on you, school committee, for making that statement.
My argument is this. I don't care what you want to say about cell phones, computers, metal detectors. I want a safe school for children. You want $240 million to build a new school. Are you going to put metal detectors in that building? Are you going to make sure that the children are safe in that building? You know, every other school in this district wears uniforms, except for Durfee. Implement uniforms at Durfee High School, implement metal detectors, and at the first sign of a problem, implement disciplinary procedures.
Oh, CJ,
This is what the charter schools do, and guess what? They don't have knives in their schools.
You're making me crazy here.
I'm talking sense.
Are you look, we have a society and a government that's going in exactly the wrong direction in everything. We're minimizing the punishment for crimes, and we're doing nothing to protect the citizens in this state and in this city. I mean, and then they talk about money. They want to put tolls on the roads now.
Yep.
Take more money. That's another genius up in Boston. Another one from a rich community that wants to have tolls so they can make more money. You know, but they got their pay raise. We don't get our tax holiday. They're broke, but they got a $3 million pay raise. Now they're going to put tolls on the roads. They're
to pay for that pay raise.
And the criminals are now going to get less of jail day. They want to eliminate. We'll get to that later. But I mean, wait till you hear this one. If this doesn't ruin your weekend, nothing will. What are they doing today? It's like, let's take care of the criminals and the drug addicts, and the hell with the taxpayers and the safety of the people in the communities. I mean, this is just, look, I keep saying it. We got to drain the swamp, man. Get everybody out. Vote everybody out of that entire delegation. Anybody that voted in favor of this crime bill, including our state senator, should be gone. Gone.
And our state senator, by the way, is one of the majority leaders in the House, in the Senate. And guess what? They all fought for this. So
that's right.
So we know
not only voted for it, fought for it.
That's right.
Remember that. When they have their program on Monday, remember, give them a lot of input.
Yep. Again, the rail trail, back on the rail trail again.
Rail trail.
And now the mayor's looking for a solution.
Yeah.
The solution is there's no road, okay? The mayor lied through his teeth, He turned around and he says, I just completed a deal that was started in 2013. The deal in 2013 was no. Then Mayor Will Flanagan and the state told this developer, no easement, no road, no.
Then the next mayor,
Mayor Sam Sutter, turned around and said,
what did he
no,
say?
no. So what deal are you completing? Oh, that's right, you got paid off. So you are completing the deal that you got paid for. Oh, and how do I know that happened? Because the same developer got the St. Vincent's home farmland to put houses on, to ruin that whole neighborhood. And you had money from the state to buy it, to make it a working farm, but you gave that money back because you wanted to take care of your friend, the developer. This is not a government of the people, for the people, and by the people.
Well,
it's a government for the rich.
He's not looking for a solution. He knows what the solution is. Delay this till after the election.
And then let the road go through.
And then let the road go through if he gets reelected.
And this is the problem. This is the problem that we have. And people don't want to see it. Okay? He turned around and he said on his lawsuit, oh, they knew they weren't going to win. Come on. Give me a break. I don't know any lawyer that's going to file a lawsuit that they're not going to win. Unless they're being pushed by their client. And they were the client.
And they're lawyers. Lawyers don't pay other lawyers to be their lawyers unless they've got a legitimate case. And, he had to add that caveat. That's his problem. He just can't let it go. Instead of just leaving it at, there was a deal made, it's confidential, and now it's been dropped. No, he had to say they didn't have a case, which is crap.
Right.
Which is crap, because, that law firm, if he owed him money, I don't know lawyers that work for free, believe me.
I don't know of any either.
They were gonna continue that case. They made a deal. They got either all or most of their payment, and that was the end of it. So, and had it not hit the media, they'd still be going to court. They'd still be going to court. So,
well, here's the thing. All right, it's obviously that our elected monarchy don't care about the people. They only care about their own pockets.
Only now, till November 7th.
That's right. And then on November 8th.
They'll remember us.
And then on November 8th, right there.
And remember what they say. And I was watching the city council debates, and almost all of them said, I represent the people. No, yeah? When do you ever care about what the people think?
Exactly.
Except at an election
Hey,
time.
and
you represent the people.
How about what?
Really?
How about what City Councilor Pamela Liberté LeBeau turned around and said on the air? I can't be expected to read everything put before me as a city councilor. That's what the hell you were elected for.
Yeah,
and every one of you city councilors wait until the last minute to start looking at things, and then you vote on them, and you didn't even review them.
And you look,
the files are so big. Look, I get them the same exact time you get them, and I review every single one of them.
And you know something? If they get it in too short a time frame,
table it.
Exactly. That's not an excuse. You don't have to vote. I don't care if the mayor wants it done tonight. If he sends you a package that looks like War and Peace, a half a day before the meeting, and we understand that city councilors are part-timers. They may not have the time to review those documents. Well, guess what? Let the executive branch know that if they're going to submit something for your approval, that you are going to take the adequate time to review it before you vote on it. You don't vote on it and then say, well, I didn't have enough time, because then that's your fault.
That's right.
Table the damn thing, period.
That's right.
Table it. Say, the mayor's going to have to get us this type of material down earlier so we can review it and ask any questions we need to get, maybe have meetings with the law department or the financial team, and answer the questions I need to ask as what you're saying now during election season, in order for me to be a representative of the people. But you're not doing that when you use that as an excuse. They've been using that for an excuse for the past 5 or 6 or 7 years. All we heard about is, well, I didn't have time to read it. I got it just before the meeting. I got it the same day of the meeting. Well, guess what? You just go and make a motion to table.
That's it.
That's it. Case closed. And if the mayor comes down and rants that he wanted it done today, like Joe Macy called the water board, remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Well, we remember, the mayor wants this done tonight. Well, guess what? And then now the water board, oh, well, we didn't really know what the hell we were doing. Well, that's your fault, too, like the city council. You get something down, they want to vote it on tonight, say, well, you're not going to give me 175 pages of documents to look at and expect me to vote on it in the same day. You may be a full-time mayor, but we're part-time councilors. So it's getting tabled to give me adequate time. It'll stay on the table until I can review it.
That's
period.
It. That's it. And I love that, I want to represent the people, because I listened to Michelle Dion, who's a candidate, first-time candidate for city council on WSAR, and she said everything that was politically correct to say. I'm going to vote for what the people want. I'm going, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, she's in sight of the mayor and Alan Sylvia at all times. So it's very obvious to me that her bread is always going to be buttered by Alan Sylvia and by the mayor, which means she's not going to represent the people. Her positions currently don't represent the people. They only represent a small margin of individuals. All of those individuals are the same margin that agree with Alan Sylvia and with the mayor. Yeah. And here's the problem. As a city councilor, you don't represent 5,000 or 6,000 people that you're friendly with. You represent 88,000 people. And this is one of the reasons why I could not give a vote for Michelle Dion. Because I've seen her take money from the mayor. I've seen her have events with Alan Sylvia, which may be a violation of Mass General Law 55. I've seen her making sure that she aligns herself already with the elected monarchy. which means she's going to become just as bad as they are. And, you know, I've never, ever have I come out against anyone from the Department of Corrections, because I've worked in the Department of Corrections, I've worked with them, and I have a lot of respect for everybody in the Department of Corrections. This is the first time I've ever crossed that blue line. And I just can't do it because guess what? My reputation and my constitution do not allow me to support somebody who I do not believe will support me or represent me.
Well, you know, I mean, this is the whole thing. It really what bothers me a lot when you see these things, and they all want to represent the people, and they all remember the Constitution of this state and of this nation until they get in office. And then you get the people that are saying, you know, I always do what I feel is in the best interest. And you look at their voting record for incumbents, and they've never, ever opposed anything that the mayor's proposed. They're always advocates, and they say ridiculous things like, oh, I look at Fall River and I see, what was that euphemism that was used? I see a community on the rise, and it's almost like
a thriving metropolis.
There we go, a thriving metropolis. I don't know what thriving metropolis he's seeing, but you know, this is the kind of thing that gets me. And if you know,
I think you
like
watched
a
Supergirl
wise
that
man
night.
once said, you know, words without deeds are worthless weeds.
That's it.
So when they start saying that stuff, and you know that you need hip boots to wade through it, because I don't know what kind of thriving metropolis has 23% of their people living below the poverty level, the lowest household economy in this state, and over 80% of their children on the meals program.
No. You got that backwards. It's 23% above the poverty level. All the rest are below it.
No, we got 23 below, but then the next 50%, which is almost 75%, are living, you know, basically
at the poverty level.
One of the lowest. When I looked at statistics, they're mind-boggling on how many families are living on like $15,000 a year.
I know.
I mean, it's just, you look at it and it's like, holy, I mean, it's just incredible. Go online. You know, go online, check the facts. Somebody from one of those camps that continues to say we're a thriving metropolis and things are getting better in Fall River, somebody go on there and show me that we are in the top 5 in any positive category, household income. We have one of the, you know, I mean, you look at places like Newton, it's got, what, I don't know, 5 or 6% below the poverty level. Then you look at ours with 23%. You look at the household incomes. Look, you know, you want to try to BS people and say we're working. That's a work in progress. That's a big enough load of crap for everybody to swallow. But please, stop urinating on everybody's head and trying to convince them it's raining. The fact is, don't start with this city's on the rise, this city's I see a thriving metropolis. Well, you're on drugs. They should make you urinate in a bottle, not on our heads. If you're talking like that, you need not to urinate on us, but to urinate in a bottle.
Well, we're getting to that point, that's for sure. As you mentioned earlier, they want to put tolls now on 195, on I-95, Route 1, Route 2, and on Interstate, and on 93.
Yeah, which is everything going into Boston.
Everything going into Boston.
Anybody goes into the state capitol, which you have to go to or through to get anywhere, you know, you're going to get a toll. So, again, tuck it to the taxpayer. Tuck it to the taxpayer.
But the thing I love about those is that during prime hours, the rush hours, you know, in the morning from 6 to 9, and in the afternoon from 3 to 6, the tolls are going to be higher.
Yeah, and guess what? Guess who's not paying tolls?
The state representatives and the state senators.
Do you think they're going to pay the tolls?
No, of course not.
Good. You know, they should lynch these people.
I know.
I shouldn't say that. I'm going to get arrested for that.
You know, we talked about, you know, the Senate passing bills that are tough, have some tough penalties for drug crimes, but they've softened the others.
Yeah.
So the Senate passed legislation early Friday morning, that was today, that would make trafficking in Massachusetts liable for murder. while substantially reducing other criminal penalties for drug dealing in an effort to reduce the state's prison population and give offenders a better chance at turning around their lives. But here's the kicker. Do you know that they're going to reduce the sentence for people dealing drugs or in a school district? Hey, Mom, hey, Dad, the guy's out there dealing drugs. I'm going to go buy some because he's right outside the schoolyard. Oh, don't worry about it. He's not going to get any jail time. That's what they're saying. And this is what Senator Michael Rodrigues voted for.
Yeah,
this is what he voted for.
Listen, look, this is absolutely reprehensible on their part because they live in their own little monarchy world. Now, this is Dan Shaw's a candidate for Attorney General. It's it. You know, it talks about, it says, they want to eliminate the Senate proposal to eliminate mandatory minimum sentences for individuals who, A, distribute controlled substances like heroin and opioids to minors, and B, recruit and use children to help commit drug crimes. This is what they're doing. And we got a crisis, and this is what they're doing. They should be, look, there are countries in this world that have very little drug problem. And if you look at most of those countries, they have extreme sentencing for any type of drug crime. You know, the fact is, you remember that Australian girl that got caught trafficking drugs and they were going to execute her?
Yep.
And then everybody in the world rushed and said, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. And then they said, okay, we'll give her life. And then they had another big tay-to-tay. And they made the government relent, and she got 40 years. Guess what? How many Australians are going to you think are going to try to smuggle drugs out of that country again? Not very many. How many people want to be in a Turkish jail? You ever see Midnight Express? If you haven't, watch it. I'm not talking about the story. It's a true story. It was a movie based on a true story. Look at the commercials made by Hal Holbrook, a famous actor, in the 70s that told Americans after that movie came out, don't get busted for drugs in any foreign country. And they should have finished it, because the other foreign country will treat you like the criminal that you are.
Exactly.
The murderer that you are.
And in some country, they'll kill you.
Come to America, where these boneheads are going to minimize your sentences. And they're going to use it because they want to reduce the population in jails. You know, they should increase the population with murderers and drug dealers.
I agree.
Build more. You people are disgusting. You disgust me.
And now I'm going to disgust you a little more. Because the Senate last night approved a state budget. And what was one of the things they took out of the budget? Not like Fall River needs it.
Yeah.
But they took $4.7 million for violence prevention programs called Safe and Successful Youth Initiative. One of the priorities of the House Ways and Means Committee. The Senate has focused on closing the books for fiscal year 2017 because they deficit spent last year $82 million, $82.5 million to close the fiscal 2017 books. But they took away $4.7 for the youth initiative to stop violence amongst youth. And the Health and Human Services is awaiting action in order to issue contracts that now they don't have the money for.
Do you mean the Senate, whose president gave himself a 300% raise in his
stipend? Him. Yep.
That guy? That guy who said...
And remember, Mike Rodrigues just voted that kids can go kill themselves because that's what that says. He doesn't care about youth violence.
Well, you know, I mean, all they care about is their paychecks. Remember what the president of the Senate said when he increased his stipend up to like 85,000? It was in the 80s.
Right.
It was either 80 or 85,000 from 20. And he said, well, I haven't had an increase in my stipend in 25 years. Everybody, I think, could understand why I want this increase. No, I can't.
Neither can I.
Because you've given yourself a pay raise virtually every year
right.
for those 25 years. And that 25,000 is like an extra little bonus. I'll tell you what, I don't know anybody in Fall River, except maybe the people who are in the 1%, who wouldn't take a $25,000 bonus once a year. I'll tell you what, a $25,000 stipend is not a bad stipend, buddy. I hate to tell you that. Now you jumped it up to 85 because you couldn't get the same amount as the speaker, because who's the speaker? He's only a rep. You know, you're a senator, so you had to jump your own pay. But here you are cutting money, passing laws to minimize it for trafficking. Oh, and then I like it in the article because they said, well, you know, sometimes you may bust somebody near a school with drugs, but they really didn't want to sell it. So guess what every criminal's going to say now when they
I didn't want to sell it.
I wasn't selling it. I had 17 pounds of heroin in my car, you know, and I was a block away from the school. But I didn't mean to sell it. I was just taking it home with me.
That's right. I planned a big party tonight.
I was just coming home from the heroin market. You know, what the hell? It's like, you know, I mean, they're so out of touch with reality. But because you know, they live in their own monarchy, and they are out of touch with the world. Let's stick them in some opioid-ridden ghetto for about 6 months and let them live in a 3-decker with a bunch of junkies and see how they like it.
But here's what the answer's going to be, because they're going to say, well, you know, CJ and Chip said that you voted for taking away money to kill our youth because you took away from the youth initiative. And he's going to say, oh, well, we had to take money away from somewhere, and that really wasn't important at the time, and I fought to keep it, but we couldn't do it. So no, you didn't fight to keep it.
Yeah.
You didn't fight to keep it because you voted for it.
I got a good place to start taking money from.
So do I. Their paychecks, exactly.
Paychecks and your stipends. Maybe you can start there. Don't come crying to me that we're broke after you gave yourself a $3 million pay raise.
Exactly.
You know, we can't have a tax holiday. We have to get tolls on our highways now because we're broke. But you never stop lining your own pockets and taking care of your friends. So don't give me that. If you want to get me going, that's the way to get me going. Just take my money and stick it in your pocket.
That's right.
You want to take my money and give it to police, fire, corrections, education? Okay, that's fine. That's what I pay for. Services that help me and help the people. I don't pay to give you guys $85,000 stipends, and you don't have to pay state tax, and you get a stipend for driving to work. Who else? Somebody would kiss the ground if they could get a job 50 miles away for a good wage. And they're not going to tell the employer, well, you know, you got to give me $100 a day because I drive more than 3 miles to work or something like that. You're not going to get that. You're happy to get a job. These guys are getting paid pretty damn good. They don't have to pay state tax. They got all kinds of perks, and they never stop giving themselves perks.
That's right. That's right.
And all they do is come back and BS everybody. And like I said, that's my new mantra. Let's drain the swamp.
That's it. Hey, the Associated Press reported on a bill that targets drivers who abuse handicap parking placards.
Oh, good.
The bill, which has already been approved by the Senate, again the Senate finding a way to take money out of people's pockets.
That's right.
Will slap a fine of $500 for the first offense and $1,000 for a second offense on anyone who intentionally makes a false statement in an application for a handicap license plate or placard. Drivers who make it hard to see a placard number or expiration date through the car windshield would face a $50 fine. Backers of the legislation say that concealing the information allows individuals to use placards belonging to someone else, as well as lost, stolen, and expired placards. The House approved the bill by unanimous vote on Wednesday after a brief debate. This is not a victimless crime status, and no one has a right to use parking placards all day by using a placard that by rights that does not lawfully belong to them. And they counted out the fact that it's going to cost Boston like $1.8 million. $1.8 million in lost revenue from the parking fees. You know, the meters?
Yeah.
So they're going to lose that money.
Yeah, but how much? Don't believe me. They've already done a bean count on how much they're going to get with the fines. That's the only reason they supported it. You know, their altruism is seriously in question.
No kidding. They don't have altruism.
You guys have a good weekend. I'll see you next Friday.
Next Friday? You're away all week?
I'm on assignment. I'm going out. I'm doing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll see you next Friday then.
I'm doing an investigative reporting thing, so I will see you guys on Friday.
Okay, we'll see you on Friday, Chip. And say, angry people, I'll see you on Monday.